I'm Shelley, and this is Raven's channel. If you don't already know, Raven is a black cat who was abused when she was younger, when she was living on the streets of Turkey in a place called Antalya. Now, today I wanted to talk about why Raven has moved the world to tears, and I'm going to tell you exactly why that is. Now, why do some people see Raven differently? Not in a bad way, but in a way that many of us can relate to. Well, this is one way of looking at her. From different sides serves a powerful metaphor for hidden suffering. This visual contrast forces people to confront the often unseen pain that many animals and individuals endure, invoking a strong emotional response. So the reason we might look at her completely different is that we often tend to see what we expect to see, and our perceptions are influenced by our biases and assumptions. In Raven's case, our initial impression of her as a normal cat is challenged when we see her actual condition, which can be emotionally heartbreaking. Raven lived on the streets for a long time before she was caught and taken to the vet. Out of the thousands of people who must have walked by her in a busy town, it only took one person to take action. Some of us ask, why did it take so long? However, there could have been many reasons for this. Some financial reasons, or worry that she might carry some kind of infection. Alternatively, Raven's shy character may have deterred people from attempting to catch her. Empathy and vulnerability. Many people feel a deep empathy for vulnerable beings, especially those who have suffered through abuse. Raven's story taps into the universal sense of compassion for those who cannot speak for themselves. More and more these days, we see so much pain and suffering of animals than we did years ago. I believe that social media plays a huge part in this. If used the right way, it can protect and help find justice for those who have suffered. However, if used in the wrong way, it can lead to some very upsetting feelings of deep sadness and a sense of not doing enough. Awareness of animal abuse. Raven's story sheds a light on the issue of animal cruelty and neglect. By sharing her journey, it raises awareness and encourages discussions about the importance of protecting animals, fostering a collective desire to effect change and promote animal welfare. We need to remember that just because there are no visual signs of abuse with some animals, it does not mean they haven't suffered. We often overlook the struggles of others, challenging us to become more empathetic and proactive in supporting those in need. Hope and redemption. Despite her heartbreaking past, Raven's ongoing journey can inspire hope and the belief in redemption. Her existence serves hope for those who may have faced similar trials, showing that recovery and love are possible. Raven's appearance and her condition moves us to tears. It's a powerful reminder of the importance of empathy and compassion, and the need to look beyond the surface level appearances, to see the actual needs and experiences of those around us, particularly those who have been dismissed or oppressed. Now, I want to share something very close to my heart with you. When I look back at how far we've come, not just 5 months, but way before that, when she first arrived, Raven came to us in the need of urgent place to stay. Otherwise, she would have been put back on the streets after her sterilisation. When she arrived, I could see that she had been feeding and she had 3 raised nipples. As an experienced foster carer for mothers and babies, I knew how many kittens she had. As a mother myself, I could also relate to her feelings, which made me feel very close to her. I could also see that she did not have a human contact. Although she had some, She was very wary of it. However, time was not an issue for us. She had all the time in the world to open up. When Raven began to open up after 3 months of being with us, it was peak season for mothers and babies again, and my house was full. I had almost 23 cats at home, many of which were kittens, so it was a pretty mad house. Raven had a home offer with someone I knew, so she went off, and I thought I was doing the right thing for her by adopting her to a new home, rather than a foster environment where she would have more time and more places to roam. Fostering animals, bottle feeding, cleaning, and taking them to the vets every day can be overwhelming and genuinely demanding. There are summers when I have broken down in tears from exhaustion. I've had friends and family tell me to stop, it's enough, but sadly I never listened. Time went on and Raven had been in her new home for almost 5 months. One night I had a dream that Raven had escaped and run away from her new home. I went to see if I could find her, but she was nowhere to be seen. When I woke up, I couldn't stop thinking about this dream. I'm a little believer that dreams are trying to tell us something, so I decided to follow this up. I called the lady and explained my dream, and she said everything was fine, and she was doing well. Although I felt the lady herself had some worries about her own things going on at the time. As we all do as humans, sometimes life throws things at us that we don't expect. She had many cats and a few lovely rescue dogs, all of whom were absolutely amazing with each other. But something inside me felt compelled to bring her back. It was weighing heavy on my mind. So before I went there, I suggested I would like to take her back. She knew I found it hard to let her go the first time around, but I wanted to give her a better life. So she said, "Of course you can. I would never stop you knowing how much you loved her at the start." So when I went there, I could see that she wasn't so happy. Raven is not the kind of cat to be handled easily, and I'm guessing it was hard to move her to the bigger part of the house where most of all the other cats would be and have a place to run outside, in a secured area. She was in the same room that I left her 5 months ago. It was a lot smaller than what she is in now, with no outdoor space and a small window. She was with 5 other younger cats who were running around like teenagers. She was on top of the wardrobe, and I thought she needed more space and so much more love, which I now know I could give her, as I decided to cut back on the heavy rescue work. In my time, in 12 years, I have rehomed more than 500 cats, and she's the only one that I have decided to bring back. I was determined to make up for lost time, and I promised her all the way home that things would be better, and she would never have to leave again. I truly believe now that my intuition and my dream was correct. She wasn't happy, and she told me so. She had a story to tell, she had a mission to complete, and she connected with me to do that for her. I knew in the moment that I set eyes on her that she needed someone in her life to give her a chance. But I let her go, and I felt terribly guilty for putting her through this. I felt as though I had failed her. She was so scared when I opened up the box, and she looked extremely frightened. I never left her side for 3 months, working with her, giving her space, while ensuring I spent 2 to 3 hours with her each day, just the two of us, and what a transformation it has been. It wasn't easy integrating her with the others, but it wasn't as hard as our sassy Betty, Diva. Raven is a happy, healthy cat who adores her fellow felines and her new life, and I will never let her down again. She's taught me so much more about myself that I did not believe in myself enough, but now I do.
Raven taught me a lot about myself. At the beginning, I wasn't confident enough, maybe, to follow on the whole process of introducing her to the others. Maybe I thought that maybe it'd be too much for me. But generally, I just wanted her to be in a place where she would be happy and safe and get the attention that she needs. I truly believe that Raven is magical and that she gave me a sign, and that's why we're here today. Now, you can laugh, you can think that that's weird. I probably would think that was weird, But it happened, it really did happen. And now I'm a true believer that Raven has some really deep spiritual connections with herself and also to communicate, because I think she's had to learn that and she's had to get that from within to survive. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time.
Hello, princess.